Welcome, everybody. I know it's been a while, but we are back with the Meatheads podcast.
Moves done. Fuck up De Niro, I got a Snyder extended clip, so who wanna play heroes? Go bad shit like Ozzy, I was born in the darkness. Oh, you the wolf, so we pull up and you're harmless. So pray to
Burberry scars, stripping Perry on, living like a comet, moving amongst the stars. $100,000 sports car.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
How's everybody's father feeling today?
Go fuck yourself. Let me talk to you.
Oh, what do you guys want to talk about?
What up? What up? Welcome to the Circle of Debate, episode 202, The Forbidden Debate. I'm Mike De Niro. We have a whole lot to talk about today, but I'm so glad to be here on the Circle of Debate because we have a super stacked show for you with a super stacked weekend of wrestling. So before we get into it, I want to introduce my man right here on the side of me. We got Pepsi Phil in the house. What is up, Pepsi Phil?
What's up? How are you guys doing? Big wrestling weekend coming. Y'all ready for it?
Oh, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then also below me here, we have our other co-host. We have the Redeemer in the house, my man, Justin. What is good?
What is up, fellow debaters? That is right. It is the Redeemer, the network world champion, the Undertaker of the In Time Wrestling Podcast Brothers of Destruction, and as I've now acclaimed myself, the Joe Hendry of podcasting. It is your boy. Say his name, and I will come here and be your co-host. So that's how I do it here. And no matter what version of me you get, just always know that it is game over.
Most definitely. So let's start out the show. We're going to be talking about last week's SmackDown and this week's Monday Night Raw. Two very, very stacked shows. Two shows with a lot of newsworthy shit that went down on it. Starting out with SmackDown last week, we had not only CM Punk come out, he had a little interaction with the Bloodline. We had Drew come back, which was pretty much expected. I know Justin called it on the Wrestling Delorean. I'm glad that we could, say that you called it right. But we had not only Drew come back, but he beat CM Punk to a bloody pulp. And then at the end of the show, we finally get the debut of Jacob Fatu, which I thought was a very impactful debut. The man took out 3 former world champions all by himself. It was a debut that was on the same week that we got the debut of the Wyatt Six. And for it to be standing up with the Wyatt Six with how good that debut was, I think that was very, that's a testament to what Jacob Fatu did on SmackDown. But let's get right into it. Pepsi Phil, what did you think about SmackDown from this past Friday?
Honestly, I got down. I actually watched the whole thing. I rarely do that, but I watched this whole thing because I kind of heard rumors that this was going to be a big night. For me, the Jacob Fatu thing was expected, and like I said, it was not a disappointment at all. They had him basically kill Cody. Like, if you want Jacob Fatu to be huge, you had him take out Randy, yes. Had him take out KO, fine. But he killed Cody Rhodes. Like, literally him doing a splash onto the announce table on top of Cody you're going, oh, that's that because and not to mention the fact that Jacob Law is in better shape than he's probably been in anywhere, and he looks amazing.
For sure.
His merch literally sold out within like 2 minutes of him being debuted. Became number one literally within like 24 hours. So, but that was great. But for me, the Drew Punk thing made me giddy. Not because my feelings about Punk, which leave that aside, but from a storytelling standpoint, that was a great way to have that, how to push that story towards Money in the Bank. I don't know if they're going to do something for Money in the Bank just yet, or if they're going to announce something. But the fact that you have Punk do this great promo, and I'll say it was a good promo about Drew taking his ball and going home. And then you come back, and the next scene is like basically him broken down, and you actually don't even see it. He gets, all you hear is like the guardrail or the fence or the garage door getting slammed against. You're going, what is that? And then you just see like a broken Punk on the ground with Drew standing over him, and then he picks him up and walks him through the crowd. Like, he doesn't say anything, he doesn't brag, he just walks through the crowd. From a story perspective, from a story perspective, that's amazing. Like, literally, if you combine that with the promo, that there you go. All you're saying is, Punk, you shouldn't talk shit about that man. Like, that's what I said. I was like, oh, you talk shit about that man, and that's what happened to you. I hope it was worth it, because that shit looked like it hurt. I mean, even though I know he's still not cleared, they did a good job of selling the shit out of that one. That was great. But yeah, those are the two biggest moments. I'm not even going, we ain't done Raw yet, but like overall, against my better judgment, and I'll call her the dark horse, fucking Chelsea Green. God damn. Chelsea Green is,
I love it.
Whether I want to or not, I am falling in love with that woman.
Facts.
She is amazing. So, what's up, Ivan? Bro?
What up,
Happy
Ivan?
birthday, by the way.
Or happy birthday. We're going definitely
Happy
get into
birthday
that.
to the devious one.
Yeah, I hope you're celebrating it and living it up.
She has such a, like, I don't want to say it's like a small gimmick, because honestly, it leaves an impression. Going with like how they say, like starting off with how they said her name, like, Chelsea Green, like that bit right from Samantha Irvin, put her on a weird level that you're going, and then she just like literally managed to, like, just through character, because with all due respect, she's not like the greatest technical of wrestlers, but you don't have to be. She's a great storyteller in the ring, and her character is so locked down that even when she made it to the Money in the Bank ladder match, I was not upset. Although I will say, I don't think she's gonna do great in that match. But
no.
But I don't mean that in the sense of, I don't think she would like she ain't gonna be doing no 360s or her Karanas off the ladders. But I am genuinely excited for the story that her goofy ass will tell during that ladder match. Because that right there makes me want to go see it, just because of her being silly.
She's the R-Truth of the women's division, if you ask me.
She really is. Yeah. She really is. The only thing, and this isn't the thing about Solo, and so Solo does not feel to me to be a big bad. Like, he doesn't feel like a faction leader to me. Like, I think they have him in place for that. They even like got a trademark for Caesar Sokoa.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, it's not Solo's fault. I just think he hasn't had time to actually, like, I mean, no matter what they do, everyone on Bloodline is gonna be behind Roman Shadow. So that's gonna be a hard push and a hard like thing to come out of. So Solo's got some work ahead of him. But wrestling wise, he looked great wrestling. And the fact that he sold Jacob Fatu coming in was great. Like I said, I think he can. It's just taking him a little bit of while. And I'm hoping that this match at Money in the Bank ladder match lets him break out a little bit more, kind of like how he did against Cena. So that's what I'm pretty excited about. So I'm pretty hopeful for that one. I'm trying to think from SmackDown, what else did we get? Overall, like, SmackDown was I mean, SmackDown was in my opinion, SmackDown story-wise was an A show. Like, I was genuinely pleased with the entire thing. I didn't see any really soft segments on it. I think everyone was like, it was firing off on all cylinders. But yeah, I'm just waiting. I can't wait till we get to Raw, because there's like, I want to talk about the segment everybody's talking about.
Most definitely.
But yeah, what y'all got?
Justin, talk to me, brother. What do you think about SmackDown?
I thought it was a great show, honestly. Like, to kick off with Punk, you kind of figured, okay, he's coming out, he's gonna go in his hometown, he's gonna start out the show. Satan fit perfectly right there. But having Heyman come out there to intervene with him and tell him, like, listen, I got nobody else to go to at this point, and basically just going, like, he went back to CM Punk of all people to try to convince him, like, stay away from the bloodline, don't interact with them because they're coming for everybody. Like, I was like, damn, like, this is Heyman right now is probably some of the best parts of SmackDown, because just have the emotion he shows through this story is fantastic. Just how he's going out there going, listen, everybody, don't even bother with the bloodline, because you're going to end up getting hurt. Someone's going to get hurt. Somebody help me get away from them. I'm like, my God, this man is a Hall of Famer for a reason. Like, he has the best. He can tell stories just by himself, which is, he's amazing with that. With the Punk and Drew stuff, like I said, what better way to have this story, to tell more of this story, by having Punk just get murdered in his hometown? Like, it just tells such a fantastic story, even more than this. Like, this whole feud has been incredible right now. Like, I cannot wait for the first match to happen right now. I'm so friggin' pumped for it. Like, I'm just waiting to hear the day that Punk is cleared. I'm just anticipating it because I want to see this match. Like, the story that they've done here of Drew getting fucked multiple times, Drew going out there and saying, listen, I prayed for you to get hurt, and it happened. And it's just like the whole, like, you know, the going out there and saying, you don't do drugs, you don't drink, but you've been in rehab for so many times. I'm like, my God, like, Drew McIntyre as a heel is incredible. Like, it's so weird because it's like they're towing the line with both of them. Like, nobody knows really who to really, like, root for, because it's like you want to root for Drew kind of, because it's like he's really kind of getting fucked over here. But, like, Punk is kind of that guy that you want to root for also, because they're like, look, he just got murdered in his hometown. Like, he's doing stuff, because even, like, you know, he got put on the shelf and Drew's all happy about it. Like, come on. How do you not want to root for a guy like that to come back and just be like, I'm going to freaking end you myself? Like, story wise, it's been fantastic. Match wise, I can't wait to see it. I'm with Phil. I still don't know how I feel about Solo being the big bad. I'm confused myself.
I agree
really on how I feel about it. It's very bizarre. Like, it feels like Solo could, but he's not there yet. He's still like, I don't know what he's got to do to really feel like the big threat, really.
Honestly, he's got to, in my opinion, he's got to beat Cody, not for a championship, but he's got to beat Cody within an inch of his life.
Yeah, it has to be convincing.
Yeah,
he
makes sense.
Cody. He has to be Cody, and it's not just the promos. It has to be one of those matches that it's such a beating that it's like the storyline feeds into that beating. And that's only because, like, at this point, he needs to be as terrifying and as harmful as Roman would be. And the problem is he can't be Roman. He has to be something bigger or better than Roman, especially if they're trying to do what this quote unquote Tongan Samoan Civil War thing.
Yeah, like, how's that even going to work? Like, even when Roman comes back, he's not even going to feel like that big of a threat, really.
I mean, keep in mind, man, they just announced that our odds are Hikaleo's next to sign up. So if you do that, it literally is just Solo running a Tongan mercenary group against Roman.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think personally, I don't think that Solo is going to be the big bad. I think Solo is trying to be, but someone like Jacob Fatu is not going to be taking orders from Solo. So I think down the line, Jacob Fatu turns the team against Solo. When Roman comes back, he forgives Solo and then we get the original Bloodline versus Jacob Fatu and the Tongans.
Yeah.
So that's how I would do it, because Solo is not coming off as a leader. He's coming off still as just the same Solo that we've seen. So I think having a guy like Jacob Fatu there, that screams leader. That screams mercenary. So I think that we're going to see a bit of a divide there, because even when you saw Solo gave Jacob Fatu that hug and embraced him in the ring, Jacob Fatu did not hug him back. He threw up for one, but he did not hug him back. So I don't know if I'm reading a little too much into that, but that tells me that Jacob Fatu is not taking
He had the murder eyes. He's like, I just killed everybody. Look.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, I think the problem I have with Solo is it's kind of like the first Godfather. It's like, what if Mike left and left Clemenza in charge for a little bit? Clemenza can do a good job, but Clemenza ain't gonna be the dude to keep the family going. Like I think that's kind of where I feel about Solo. So, like I said, we're waiting to see how that. Temple, what's up, brother?
My boy Temple's in the house. What up?
So but the thing is, it's not like Solo's not putting in hard work. Like I see him putting in hard work. He need to stop dressing like The Weeknd, but yeah, he putting in hard work.
Those velvet shirts now work.
But the way he is, like, I don't know if it's Paul or him, but the way Paul shits himself every time Solo talks to him.
No, it's Paul. That's Paul all the way, right there.
It is, but like the way Paul is selling for that man does give me some hope for Solo becoming like this truly terrifying.
For sure.
I think that's the one thing that's really saving it is Heyman. The way he reacts to it. Like it starts to come off like Solo comes off as a threat, like big time threat, because it's like when you see Heyman just go, like when he's like the tribal chief, he's not coming back, and it's just like, oh, okay, and he just starts getting ready to ball. I'm like, yes.
And he's just like stunned there, yeah.
My peak Heyman moment was when he was like to Punk, take me with you.
Yeah, take me with you.
Like
Heyman is so good at what he does, man.
He's so desperate to get away from this right now.
It's like that man is under he a hostage and he needs somebody to help him.
He is. He's asked enemies already. He's asking former friends, like colleagues. Like he's just like, somebody get me the hell out of here. Like it's wonderful.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised he puts in a call to Tommy Dreamer and says, TNA, please.
Can we do one night stand one time only?
For sure. So, all right, let's get into Monday Night Raw. Raw was another really impactful show. Lots of newsworthy stuff that came out of Raw. Love the whole interaction with Liv Morgan and the Judgment Day. I really like the whole, planting the seeds. Is there something going on with Liv and Finn? Is there a plan between Liv and Finn to take down the Judgment Day? I loved what they did with Sister Abigail, Nikki Cross, and that got into what is probably the most talked about segment on Monday Night Raw from this, the videotape that revealed a interview between Uncle Howdy interviewing Bo Dallas. This was absolutely amazing. This was probably the greatest character work that I see Bo Dallas on WWE television have. I was just like, I lost words. I thought that this was done perfectly. And if there was a perfect way to follow up what we saw last week with the debut of the Wyatt Six, I thought that this was done absolutely amazingly. Phil, what do you think about that?
Honestly, Bubba Ray Dudley, God bless him. We know he's a pain in the ass, but the man knows his business. He said something that makes perfect sense. He goes, that was not Bo Dallas talking. That was Taylor Wyndham. That was Taylor Wyndham talking. That was like literally when I think about it, I got goosebumps, because that was one of the most heartfelt and slightly terrifying promos. And honestly, it felt more real than I think, like you said, Bo Dallas has ever done. Like, put everything else aside, Bo put his foot in the ass in that. Like, that's the promo that's the turning point promo that everyone has. Like, when you talk about where they turn it, like, your quote unquote the Triple H one, that's the speech right there. Because that right there going, and it gave me an insight, because it is technically the end of June going in July, which means we have a little less than 6 months for 2025 starts. They are rightfully slow rolling the Wyatt Six. I know everyone's impatient about it, but I like the fact they're slow rolling it till they get to 2025.
The first two things they've already done with him have been fantastic.
Yeah,
Like
100%, yeah.
straight up, like the fact that they had that interview of Uncle Howdy sitting there with him, basically coming off as like those people that sit there and go, he's just extorting his brother for like it came off like something like that. And here he is just belting out his feelings, like how he really feels. Like, my brother's not here. I wanted to do all this stuff with my brother, and now I don't even get to, but I'm going to make sure that everybody remembers not only his name, but our name. Like, that shit hits like right in the fucking heart. Like, it was
100%.
like unbelievable how he conveyed that whole thing to it, because it just, like you said, it didn't feel like Bo Dallas. It felt like Taylor Rotunda coming out there and just saying, like, this is how I'm really feeling, and I'm still feeling this way. Like, I can't be with my brother. I can't do the things that I want to do, like wanted to do with him, but I can do this and make sure that, like, in some form of like any kind of story or something, like wrestling wise, I can go out there and tell him, this is what I wanted to do. This is what we're going to do. And you're going to fear us like you feared him. Like, you're going to see how his beliefs, we believe the same way. And this is how you're going to see it. Like, it was incredible.
Yeah.
It was a solid. It was solid work, because I think the thing I enjoyed most about it is that my biggest concern, honestly, was that it was going to be all about Bray, and that we wouldn't get to see them, the actual Wyatt Six, do what they do. And honestly, and like right now, it should be about Bray, because that's what it is, like 100%. I was just worried that trying to carry that weight might have been a little too much for him, and he might have got lost trying to tell the story he wants to. This tells me that he, like, not only did he have a plan, and I'm not saying I didn't think he had one, but that his plan is so solid that they don't mind touching on the Bray Wyatt stuff, but also making sure that you know that it's not just Bray, it's him as well. And I think we talked about this in a chat. It might be really nice to start hearing, like, because now we have his backstory. Now he made you want to hear what everybody else's backstory was.
Yeah, that's what Temple's saying here. That everyone should have a sit down like this, and he's saying that Eric Rowan should be next.
Just think, it basically came off as him confronting his demons.
Yeah.
Which was what made it feel so, like, incredible to watch, because it's like he's sitting there talking to his demon, like, and they're trying to convey to him, like, you're forgotten, you're nobody. Like, he literally even said it, I'm nobody.
I mean,
and honestly, it's like, if he can just like convey that and just be like, listen, I can control this demon inside of me, and be like, this is what I'm going to show everybody right here. Like, it's going to end up being something massive.
I mean, honestly, it reminded me, and I don't know if this might be a little nerdy, but it reminded me of Lord of the Rings when Smeagol has a conversation with himself in the middle of the story, where it's like he's trying to decide if he should be good or be evil.
Yeah, I definitely could see that. Yeah,
and like we get to see exactly when he turns at that moment, because there's a point there where Smeagol's like, maybe I could be nice, and then all of a sudden it's just like, no.
Interesting comparison, right there.
That's not what we did. Well, I mean, it shocked me to see him like doing the interview himself, because interviewing yourself is still hard, especially from a bit like that, because technically it's just you in the room. Like, you have to sell that on both sides of that camera, on both sides of that. And the fact that he could, like I said, that one is great storytelling. Two, that is very hard character work, even for like trained actors, people who've been like going to school like hardcore. That is a hard skill to kind of get into, and the fact that he pulled that off, I don't know how many takes it took, but it looks like it was natural, which is what you're looking for.
The nice little touch, though, was that it was in the Firefly Funhouse.
Yes,
that was such a nice little.
I was going to bring that up.
There.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up, and also I just like going off of what Phil said. I agree, because it wasn't just great character work for Bo Dallas. Like, the way he was acting as Uncle Howdy as well was great character work. It wasn't like Uncle Howdy was overshadowed by the emotional, responses of Bo Dallas. So it was just a perfect way to show strength in both sides of his alter ego, which I thought was just masterfully done.
So, I think the other one, and you know what, I'm officially confused right now with the Judgment Day storyline. I'm confused. I got nothing.
Talk about it.
First of all, Liv is doing some of the best work I have seen her do in a while. Like she is like
Ducky.
She's playing.
Got him a whole tray of chicken nuggets. Like my man.
First of all, we're gonna put a pin in that because I want to have a conversation about that tray of nuggets. But before that, Liv Morgan's work has been honestly kind of astounding. Because if you think about it, she is not only kept her own storyline going and made herself really relevant and made her run interesting, she is basically having her rivalry with Rhea Ripley, who was on the shelf. And they have been talking about Rhea her entire run, but it's not overshadowing Liv like the last time she won the championship. Yeah. It's literally just like, man, I can't wait to see when she comes back to fight Liv. Or what the hell is Dom doing? Or my favorite, Dom, how'd she get your number? What the hell, man?
She sent him an NSFW friggin' text. Like, come on.
I love Damian Priest's reaction when he saw wepa.
Just that's cool, Carlito. Killed me.
The thing I love was most Damian Priest where Carlito was like, that's cool. He's like, Carlito. I'm like, oh damn, Dad just caught you. So, and although, can we talk about the fact Finn had no reaction?
I was about to say, literally, you see how that man didn't react? He already saw it in person.
I know. It's like Finn had no reaction to it whatsoever. Now, and combine the fact that now also Liv helped, and there is something poetic and sweet about JD McDonough winning a tag team championship with his mentor.
Yep.
There is something very sweet in that, which I do appreciate. That is hilarious and great.
It's cool to see him with a title instead of just being the punching bag for everybody.
It is, and I think
deserved for sure.
And I think even though this may be the end of Judgment Day, this is the greatest flame out in faction history, in my opinion. This is like, this is a long flame. This is like a plane going down, and you can't turn away from it.
Yeah,
like you literally can't turn away from this. But it's not even a car accident. This is a plane crash. And now I want to talk about them tray of nuggets.
That was a whole lot of nuggets.
How you gonna have a whole tray of nuggets and no sauce? And you see, Dommy, you got to be a sociopath. Dom, no sauce. No sauce. What the fuck, Dom?
That's a fact. Nothing. No condiments.
No matter how juicy they are, they're still a little dry. I'm like, Dom, you got to put some, like Wendy said, ketchup, catsup, barbecue sauce, something.
Is it an innuendo for Dom right now? How he's feeling about Liv? How he's just like dry as fuck because he's like, I don't want to deal with her. Like, I don't want to deal with her. So it's like,
maybe. I don't know what this persona is, but this Hawk to a red flag, Liv Morgan, is killing me.
You gotta spit on that thing.
Because I think she finally found her voice, and yes, it is the Jersey girl in there coming out. 100%.
I'm not gonna lie. If Liv quotes that at any point during this whole entire thing, I might walk out.
Well, she did. There's a clip of her doing it at a live show, and she was like,
no, but she like quotes it like live on TV and like starts being like, you know what that certain thing that's going around on television right now, or on the internet is, and just kind of elbows Dom like, huh, you know, Hawk too. I'd be like, nope.
All I know is she is every red flag I dated back in the day.
I mean, how can you not right now? She is
but she's doing a really great job. And I will say, thankfully, I am glad it's not the Attitude Era because God only knows what Vince would have her do. But she is walking that line perfectly.
Yeah.
And first of all, I don't know how Dom got the strength to say no to that. She's like, you want your vest back? Take it off. I'm like, Damian Priest gonna have to chase after Dom to keep him out of trouble.
He's got to be like using his actual wife as a friggin' thing, where he's just like, as soon as he gets in there with Liv, and he's just like, think of the wife, think of the wife, think of the wife.
His wife is probably like right behind the camera, giving the eye, like, hey, hey.
I would die if she he goes back there and she's there and she just walks by and just goes, I would too. I'd just be like, whoa, Dom, your wife's a freak.
But this Raw was actually, there's some really great matches during this Raw that I was really excited about.
Yeah.
The ladder match qualifications were really great.
Give it to Lyra, Kyrie, and Shayna. Holy shit.
Exactly. Like, honestly, I was kind of pissed that we only had one person win that one. But truth be told, but they've been doing a good job booking both of these nights. And once again, this was a 3-hour show that didn't feel heavy or as long as a 3-hour show. I mean, like I said, everyone keeps saying when it goes to Netflix, it might get shrunk down to 2 hours. If they keep booking it like this, I don't think they need to.
No,
I truly don't believe they need to. And honestly, if it goes over to Netflix, they'll probably have more time for more better and direct storytelling. Because the guy they have in the production booth, who we always keep forgetting, that dude's filming a movie every single night.
Oh, Lee Fitting, that guy is fucking incredible. Like that, the way he's been doing those single shots, having the cameraman just follow everybody, like how it's like we start from the back, we'll just follow them all the way through Gorilla, and now they're out there on the stage. I'm like, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, the one he did with Liv this week was really good.
Exactly. The one it wasn't this Raw. I think it was last Raw. The spear.
The overhead shot.
Oh my god,
that overhead shot. That is some movie quality work right there.
That looked like an action movie scene there.
I know it's a drone shot, but even then, man, that the way they cut that in, that was perfect. That was really perfect. I thought he killed that man. And can we also talk about the fact that WWE, man, it's got a body count these days, man. It's got a body. People are like, they killing a whole lot of folks on this show. like Chad Gable, I don't know how he managed to come back from the dead.
Can we talk about the mysterious? We got to talk about the mysterious, like, dying fucking security that happened during Nikki when she showed up. It's like she just shows up and the fucking security guys just died, and it's like nobody even touched them. The fuck? They just died.
I seen a picture. Someone put Chad Gable's face on 50 Cent for the Get Rich or Die Trying album cover.
That's funny. That's funny.
I mean, honestly, I'm sitting there just going, this man, these shows got more of a body count than Game of Thrones did in one season.
Someone tell James A. Janice at Dead Meat friggin' when he does the kill count, he might have to do a Monday Night Raw kill count and just be like, here we go, look at this.
But honestly, it feels but going back to it feels like they're filming a movie on both of these shows.
Yeah, production.
It's a thing. Obviously, I would say it's an anthology show, but it feels like a movie every time you watch it. Like the stuff they've been doing. Like Finn is being real shady, which I love because honestly, and I'll say it right now, that's Bullet Club Finn right there. Like that is Bullet Club Finn. Oh, yeah. That is the Finn that started the Bullet Club, and that's the Finn that screwed over everybody to form the Bullet Club. And I'm actually kind of excited about it because they're doing it slowly.
I guess that's what happened after he went to the hotel room. He changed his attitude.
Well, if you remember, go all the way back to the beginning of the Judgment Day. I talked about this on the DeLorean, right? If you think about the first team that the Judgment Day feuded with, when it was Edge, Rhea, and Damian, it was Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and Liv Morgan. So I always thought that Liv Morgan and Finn Balor were somehow connected here, and they were going to take out the Judgment Day from the inside. So I think that that's still an agreement that Liv Morgan and Finn Balor made before they even joined, or before Finn joined the Judgment Day.
That'd be wild.
And if you think about it, AJ has pulled away from the club, and he is a solo act. So you could have theoretically a situation where it's Damian Priest, Dom, and Carlito versus.
That's cool.
Yeah, like I mean, Strange could go. I mean, it is like I said, the options are crazy. I know a lot of people are kind of being assholes about it, but honestly, I actually enjoyed the R-Truth, Awesome Truth run as tag team champions.
I did too.
I think they did a good job with it. I think they kept it really relevant. And even though they lost it thanks to Liv, who turned on R-Truth, which
yes.
Man, he did think that was Carmella, so
yeah.
I always love Carmella. That was hilarious.
So nice callback, man. Nice callback, brother. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, so honestly, I think that storyline right there was really good. I am curious to see if they'll still kind of incorporate the Awesome Truth into the Judgment Day storyline some more, because it feels like now there's a plenty of room to do it. especially since Miz is on this weird, like, he's pissed off. I mean, obviously Miz is going to turn on Truth at some point.
That man was on commentary. He didn't want to defend his title that night.
Yeah.
So Judgment Day versus Awesome Truth and Strowman. That means.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. So I'm trying to think, okay, go ahead. I'm trying to think what the other matches were that night. All of a sudden, I'm drawing a blank.
Gable, Strowman, and Bronson Reed. Let's fucking go.
That was a fun match for sure.
That was a fun match. Also, who called it? I forget who called it, but the Creed brothers showed up.
They comforted Gable.
Yes, they did. Like, Gable pulled the, hey man, I'm sorry I was an asshole, but you know we have issues. It's like, oh, I don't know you. I don't even go here.
Shouts to Otis though for standing his ground though and being like, I'm sticking with this. Hey, like that's fucking great.
But then the Creed brothers and Isla Dawn shows up. I'm going, ooh.
They're just like, hey, you good, Gable? And he's like, don't. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh yes, here we go.
So another topic I wanted to talk about, right? It was a topic from last week, and that is Mark Henry having some criticism on the Wyatt Six after their big debut last week. After they debuted on Raw, I guess they went to a Whataburger after the show, and a fan took a picture with them. They were all out of gimmick, and the picture circulated online. And Mark Henry was pissed. He said that on Busted Open. And I just want to start out by saying I am a big fan of Busted Open. I'm a big fan of Mark Henry, Bully Ray, Dave LaGreca. Like, they're doing great shit. But I thought that this was a little overboard, right? They were saying that after all the money that WWE put into the debut just to ruin the gimmick right after the debut by taking a picture out of character. Like, listen, we already established that this is entertainment, right? If I'm walking down the street and I see Tobey Maguire walking with William Dafoe, I'm not going to be pissed because that's supposed to be Spider-Man and Green Goblin. You know what I mean? I understand they're from a different time period. They're old school. Kayfabe was still heavily prevalent when they were doing their thing, right? But I think that the outrage on the Wyatt Six, quote unquote, ruining the gimmick already after their debut was a little wild. I want to know what you guys thought about this.
I actually, so there's a kayfabe double-edged sword that people don't want to talk about. The Wyatt Six and those guys, two different people in my opinion. Those are regular people. The Wyatt Six are. It's like when you see, I don't want to say clowns, but like when you see an acting troupe. When they're in costume, they are that character. And they will not break gimmick 100%. Like, you look at those guys, you know for 100% fact. When they are regular people outside, because like I said, I don't think people understand like right now, kayfabe is two-sided. Like we are in the story now, so we actually are in on it. So we have to act like it when the story is on. But when the story's off, it's like these are regular people, and we treat them with respect like regular people.
Exactly.
So they can, like, if they want to go have a post-murder burger, that's fine.
Post-murder burger. I love that saying.
That should have been the episode title.
Absolutely. Damn.
Day 202.
Missed opportunity.
But I do understand Mark Henry. And I'm not really upset at him for saying that, because honestly, that's just a testament to how much he respects the gimmick that they're doing. And I understand that he like he's not even in WWE and he wants to protect the gimmick.
Yeah.
Like, it's not him going, you're screwing up the business. He's like, you guys did a good job. Make sure he's like being like your grandpa, not your grandpa, but like your old uncle going, protect your gimmick. Make sure you say, like, it's the one thing Undertaker always said, protect your finishes and your gimmicks.
Yep.
So I think Mark Henry was just doing that. I don't think he was being over. I think, he was being a little critical, but I think he was just trying to make sure that they're aware that you're doing something big, and just be aware that everything you do, people are gonna have more eyes on you now than they had before. So, I mean, I'm not saying that it was a bad thing, but I mean, they don't need to do that at the end of every single night, going out and taking pictures with fans. But I mean, that's the business, though. Like, that's like they're like, we know who they are. When they're in costume, we ride with them, ride or die.
When it's showtime, it's character time. That's all it is.
Like, they play they play their characters. Our role is to be creeped out and scared and terrified of.
Exactly.
But once they're out of that, they can be regular people. Like, I think that's the one thing we forget about kayfabe. Just because it got lifted does not mean the rules change about how much we enjoy wrestling or how we treat them. It's just when it goes away, we go back to being normal people.
You know, I personally thought, and I talked about this also, I personally thought that the reason why we had to sit down with Bo Dallas out of the mask was in response to this picture. That, hey, let's remember that these are regular people behind these masks. And I think that maybe that was the WWE's way of showing that, listen, yes, when they have the masks on, they are this alter ego, but these are regular human beings behind these masks who are, you know, grieving the loss of Bray Wyatt or have a mission, you know? So I thought that that was a bit of a response to what was said by Bully and Mark Henry.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on this, Justin?
I mean, that's an interesting take, like seeing it as like, you know, they saw the picture and we're just like, hey, we could make a segment out of this and just be like, listen, this is what we get. You see these guys on the show, they're in character. When they're not out there, when the show's over and they're out like doing their own thing, you know, it's the real person. That's all. Like I get, like I agree with you. I see how like what Mark Henry's like take was, you know, he wanted to be like he's always been used to kayfabe, you know. The whole like with Taker thing, you know, protect your character, which makes all the sense in the world. I get it, but it's like we're kind of past that now. Like we understand the whole thing. Like with the show, we see the character. When the people are not, when the show's not active and everything else, and they're out, you know, like on the town and everything like that, it's the actual person. And so it didn't really have to be blown that far out of proportion, really.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I think it was. I mean, it's an interesting discussion though. Especially about gimmicks and stuff like that, and just honestly interactions with fans and like how we interact with them and how like what's expected of us as fans when we watch shows and outside of shows. So
I definitely think it would have been different if it was one of the members of the Wyatt Six that posted that picture. It wasn't. It was the fan who posted the picture. He took a picture with them and posted it. If the Wyatt Six posted a picture, hey, we're at Whataburger, you know, celebrating our debut on Raw, then it would be like, all right,
that would have been a whole different story.
That would be
Raw. So I definitely would have agreed with them, but it wasn't.
But keep in mind that night, Sami Zayn did a great post for him.
Yeah.
Because he's talking about the fact that he was like talking about like how he has this comedy show and giving discounts. Then all of a sudden his phone blew up with his people going, "What are you doing selling tickets to a comedy show when your colleagues just got murdered on the show?" So I mean, if you want to protect the gimmick, that's a really good way to protect your buddy's gimmick right there.
For sure. All right, so it is about that time. So let's get into this.
It's time! It's time!
AEW Dynamite, the go-home show before Forbidden Door this week. I thought that Dynamite was a very fun show with a lot of fun matches. I was really enjoying that main event. Love the team of Swerve and Ospreay, even though they're, you know, feuding with each other for that title. I love the matchup between Zack Sabre Jr. and Kyle O'Reilly. I remember seeing them in PWG a couple times. I'm sure Temple could name the show, but I remember seeing them in PWG tear it up. All around, I think this was a great go-home show that really got me excited for Forbidden Door. Love the whole stuff with the trios match between Mina Shirakawa, Toni Storm, and Mariah May versus the Outcasts. I think that overall, this was a great episode of Dynamite and a good go-home show. And something that AEW, I noticed, they are not too good at going home for a pay-per-view. I feel like their go-home shows are they usually feel like just a random Dynamite or just a regular Dynamite, and they just remind you, hey, by the way, we have a pay-per-view this Sunday. So this was a nice special, you know, way to really bring home the fact that we have a big pay-per-view this Sunday. They added some good matches to it. We're going to see Tanahashi in it, which is awesome because now Tanahashi teaming up with the Acclaimed versus the Young Bucks and Kazuchika Okada is going to be awesome. I remember watching those Okada Tanahashi matches and just being in awe. So to see that be ran back in 2024 is going to be a lot of fun. Overall, I thought that this was a great Dynamite. Dynamite's been on a string of great Dynamites. And I felt like, you know, a couple months ago, the product has been pretty cold. And lately it's starting to heat back up again as we go into the summer, especially going into Wembley. And yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I like what they're doing also with MJF because MJF was outshined here by Will Ospreay. And I know that MJF challenged Danny Garcia to a matchup at Wembley, but I feel like that's not going to be the matchup that we get. I feel like Will Ospreay and MJF somehow will be on that card at Wembley Stadium. I feel like MJF's ego is going to get in the way here. And instead of him trying to give another young guy a shot, he's going to want to get his shot for his title. And that's the whole story that they're building here, that he's trying to be a good guy, but he's going to be forced back into the dark side, which I really like that because we don't really see character development like that to that, level on AEW. So I'm liking what they're doing right now overall. Pepsi Phil, what do you think?
This is a classic, like you said, booking. This is booked exactly how a go home show should be. Like, was it like stressing, was it what they call them? Basically they were forced together in certain situations. You had your tag team, you got your Swerve and like Ospreay tag team, you got your triple threat match, which honestly I was happy about because this made me excited for Forbidden Door because every single match that they were quote unquote forced to work together, quote unquote, added tension to the match coming up for Forbidden Door. Not to mention the fact that, like you said, this was also a good way to kind of and I will say thankfully, and I know people like saying the word competition, they're literally like amping up like attendance and matches for this segment, and like this is like that moment where you start to realize that they're booking for a pay-per-view. Now, the one thing I will say is that, and I know AEW has always prided itself on being an alternative. Thank you. Of course, you
of course, way to go, Temple.
Exactly. Who else? But I know they pride themselves on being an independent-esque group with like and trying to be an alternative WWE. I mean, honestly, say what you will, the formula the formula works. WCW did it. WWE did it, and honestly, back in the day, that's how everyone used to do it. And I think AEW now is starting to do that, where they're booking more. They're booking kind of like it's for television, so they have to book for television. Has to book for the pay-per-view. They don't have the luxury of dark matches they can always pull off anymore. So this is it for them. They need to sell it this way. And the team and the talent has to be able to sell it on these matches this way. Like it's not like say with dark shows where they can like get warmed up and get ready for the pay-per-views, or have like a TV match and then like have like 2 or 3 dark matches before the pay-per-view to kind of like work out the kinks of the match. Yeah. So they're prepping this. This is getting prepped really well. It was really nice seeing the Outsiders. It was really nice seeing Anna Jay. Because I think she is the dark horse. Because, like, I don't think people understand. Anna Jay is an AEW original. It's her and Britt Baker. Hey, Banger.
What up? What up?
So, but I don't think people understand. Anna Jay is an AEW original as well. Like, her and Britt Baker were like 2 of the first women that got recruited for AEW. And like I said, she had fallen by the wayside, obviously, once partially with injury. And then, like, shall we say, questionable women's booking. But she's come along really great. She's coming on really strong. I mean, I think, and this will sound terrible, but I think part of the reason is that with Sky Blue and Julia Hart, she's coming in because Julia Hart will probably be considered an original as well, in my opinion. So I think they're finally starting to put her forward, and I think she's been having some banger matches, and she's been legitimately killing it on the mat. Mina Shirakawa I didn't think you could find someone more unhinged than Toni Storm. And then Mina Shirakawa was like, hold my beer.
Yep.
Literally.
The fact they are fighting over Mariah May is perhaps the best thing I have seen them do on AEW with the women's division. And I'm including the Thunder Rosa Britt Baker, like, the quote unquote unofficial match they had, because character work wise, and shout out to Mina Shirakawa because she literally only had 3 weeks to build this storyline up.
Yeah,
and she managed just in a couple of segments to literally be on the same level within almost one segment with with Toni Storm. So I'm extremely happy. Zack Sabre Jr., I don't give a fuck what he does. If he shows up, I'm gonna watch it. I
Hell yeah.
do not care. That man can do no wrong in my eyes at this point. And he has said it already. New Japan, with all due respect, just so he said he wants a championship run. At some point, New Japan is gonna have to like pull that trigger because that dude right now, that's the only place he can go. If they don't give him a championship run, he gonna end up leaving as well. So overall, I think those are pretty much the big matches. And like I said, they basically set it up pretty nicely for the next one. The collision match, I was happy we got to see Stephanie Bakir. I have always loved her. I'm a big fan of hers. She did a great job. I think it's weird that it was like a collision was right after Dynamite, or at least announced as. And I thought they did an interesting move with that, in my opinion. I thought that was legitimately a smooth and smart move because, like I said, I don't think people, just because she had the strong title and they know, and people may know what the strong title is, but no one knew who she was, unfortunately. But like I said, it was great to see her put some work in. So I was happy about that.
Most definitely. Justin, talk to me about Dynamite.
So I thought it was a solid show. Like, it wasn't really like the greatest kind of go home show, but I thought it did what it needed to really do. Like, starting off with MJF going out there and putting over Daniel Garcia, fucking awesome. I like that Will Ospreay even went out there and basically put over Daniel Garcia. Like,
Justin, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry to cut you off.
Oh God.
But it is requested. I gotta find a fucking video. Let me find this now. This is for you, Temple. This is for you.
I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe.
You can't escape it. That's so funny.
Sorry I cut you off, but go ahead.
It's all good. That was hysterical. Needed to happen. Yeah, I like how the two of them put him over. Like, it's good to see Daniel Garcia kind of back on like a run right now. Like, I hope they're not going to just cut it short again and have him doing nothing. Because when he had that whole run where he was like main eventing every week, and I was so freaking pumped to see where the hell that was going to lead for him, and it basically went nowhere. And that's what sucked. Like, he ended up back with the Jericho Appreciation Society, which was bullshit. Like, I thought it was dumb. But just seeing him go out there and kill it like he does, I'm happy to see that. And I'm with you. I don't think we're going to get Garcia and MJF at Wembley. Like, this is definitely leading to MJF and Ospreay, and not trying to downplay Garcia. I think that's a way bigger match right now. Like, honestly, I thought Ospreay was going to basically end up get like Ricochet show up, and that's what you're going to get for Wembley. But if you're going to give him MJF, that's huge. Like, I'm telling you, the world title's not going to be in play here already, but I can't wait to see that because, again, it's MJF trying to get back on track to the title. Ospreay basically will not be out of contention for the title. It's going to be that whole, again, another battle for the best wrestler in the world right now. Like, it's going to be awesome to watch that.
Yeah.
Seeing really like the BCC LIJ thing, like, I'm glad they went with the DQ finish. Because, again, nobody took an L. You had Naito show up after that, which I thought was cool. And, we had the interaction between Brian and Shingo, which probably the one match on the card that I'm like super pumped to watch.
Yeah, no, that's so far. Like, I feel like that card is so stacked and
it's loaded, dude.
Even the last minute matches that they added here, and I'm sure they're going to add a few more on Rampage and Collision. There's a lot that we're going to be getting into in a couple minutes when we give our predictions for Forbidden Door, but very stacked. I want to go back to the whole Daniel Garcia MJF thing. I definitely don't think that it's going to happen just because if you look at how they're building All In now as their biggest show of the year, they're going to be running it in front of Wembley again. If you want to sell out Wembley, you do not go with a matchup like that for your biggest star like MJF. I personally, I'm a fan of Hechicero. I love the matchup he had with Bryan Danielson. I don't even think that's a big enough matchup for returning MJF in the UBS Arena, which is his hometown of Long Island. I don't think that's a big enough match for MJF. So I don't think that you go with another not for, no disrespect to Danny Garcia, but more a lackluster matchup for MJF for the biggest show of the year. That's why I do think that we're going to be getting a curveball here, and MJF will be going against Will Ospreay at Wembley.
Honestly, I have this is just a crazy prediction, but honestly, I think Daniel Garcia is walking out with the international title next week. I think Garcia is winning the title from Ospreay, and I think MJF's going to be the reason why he loses that title, which is going to help build that matchup more, which would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
I mean, it's an interesting move, and it'd be good for Danny Garcia because he's been on the cusp for a while now, so it'd be good to see him. Overall, it's been a smart move with him, and especially with MJF, because the one thing I don't think people give credit for is MJF does a really good job putting people over. So Roosh didn't really need it outside of AEW, but inside of AEW, the match he had with MJF was amazing.
Yeah.
And the way they built it up, the way they told that story was great. And Roosh got to be Roosh felt like a big bad in that one, so to speak. So I'm curious to see what he could do with Daniel Garcia. Because I think you're right. Ego will play into it. And I got to wonder what that will mean for Daniel Garcia.
Yeah.
Just think, he literally showed up and overshadowed MJF, who was basically just opening the show, just putting over Daniel Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ospreay showed up and basically just overshadowed him. Like, he's not going to let that fly.
Yeah, I that's exactly what I thought when I saw that too. But let me ask you a question now. Do you think MJF is the wild card in the Owen Hart tournament? Because it was already announced. It was already announced that the winner of the Owen Hart tournament is going to get a title shot at Wembley.
No, because the Bucks basically said they're picking the wild card. They're picking the wild card, which means I'm telling you right now, that means it's going to be Hangman.
See, I don't think it's going to be Hangman.
How do we get to Wembley? Say our prediction. We'll talk about our predictions later. But say Will Ospreay becomes AEW champion, and he holds it to Wembley, and MJF is being built up to go against Will Ospreay at Wembley, presumably. If the winner of the Owen Hart tournament gets Ospreay at Wembley, how do we fit MJF in that picture?
Triple threat. Easily.
I actually think I think the Owen Hart challenge is going to be his way in, because it is not above MJF to sneak in there and steal somebody's spot. Because he did it last time, remember?
Yeah, I just think after the Bucks announced that they're picking the wild card, it's going to be some kind of shenanigans where it's going to be somebody like Hangman, and they're going to put him in there, and he's going to go all the way. Which when he's basically like, it's going to tell you right there, Swerve's going to beat Ospreay at Forbidden Door, and it's going to be Hangman going all the way and winning the tournament. We're going to get another Swerve and Hangman match at Wembley for the world title this time. Like that story just feels like it's never going to end. And honestly, I don't see a reason why it should, because it's that whole thing of Hangman wanted so bad to prevent Swerve from having the world title. And now he's going to go in there with Swerve as the world champion and be like, listen, you got lucky and you took the world title, but guess who's going to take it away from you and watch all your dreams just go crumbling again. Like, that story is massive right there. That's why I'm saying you have Hangman do it, be the surprise. Like, I get people want to see MJF in there, and it would make a lot of sense. But having him go in there, and honestly, like, I don't know how, if you do Ospreay and MJF at All In, who the fuck wins? How do you pick a winner there?
See, I agree with you. It probably will be Hangman, truth be told, but I actually think MJF screws over Hangman. I think he screws over Hangman. He gets his spot, and before MJF can take on Swerve at Wembley, he's got to deal. He's got to go back and have the old match. Which, keep in mind, they never finished the match. It was technically he screwed over Hangman for it.
Yeah,
they still have unfinished business. So him screwing over Hangman and taking his spot would be a nice filler in between the long run to All In.
Shit, MJF and Hangman been feuding since day one. Double or Nothing 2019 at the Battle Royal they've been feuding. So
I don't think you're wrong. I think MJF still manages to quote unquote kind of screw, like he tends to screw people over to get himself into it. Like I think that's what he's going to end up doing because I think somehow, some way, he ends up getting someone. They end up getting so pissed at him. He go, "Fine, let's give you a match at All In." So,
yeah, I agree.
I mean, Daniel could be good.
Since we're talking a lot about Forbidden Door, let's get into the predictions for this stacked pay-per-view that we got going on this weekend. We have this matchup card here, which I have the updated one. They've already added matches to this, and this was already stacked.
Yeah.
Let's get into Forbidden Door. I'm going to talk about the 0 hour first because we have 3 big matches on the 0 hour. Starting out with Saraya versus Mariah May. This is going to be a fun matchup, especially with the way they've been building up the feud lately on TV. I love the whole feud between the Outcast and Tony Storm and Mariah May. This is fun. I am a big fan of Saraya, but I think that Mariah needs to win this matchup. I'm going for Mariah here. What do you guys think?
I'm with you on that one. Mariah definitely. Like I like this whole that they interjected the Outcasts in there right now, and like again, like they added Anna Jay to them, which is awesome. But it's like I don't know. Mariah's kind of just been on that like trend right now where she's just kind of been like a punching bag. Like even for Tony and even for Mina on occasions, like you gotta just have her go out there and show her like, listen, she's not just a punching bag. She's gonna go in there and be Saraya. Like that's big for her. I'm with you. I'm going Mariah.
So I'm gonna throw a wild card in. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Mariah, but I think it's gonna be because Mina helps her win. Like I think literally Mina helps her win that match.
I don't hate that.
And then it becomes the storyline for the women's championship really blows up because all Mina keeps saying is I'm gonna steal your girl.
I like that too, actually. You know, play a little storytelling on the pre-show leads to a little bit of story in the later on in the night.
That'd be fun.
The fact she keeps saying I'm gonna steal your girl is literally that's the storyline right there. And I'm sitting there just going, this is insane. Like so her coming in to kind of help Mariah win, or it's one of those Tony comes in to try to save Mariah who wins and gets jumped, but Mina beats her to it.
Mariah's stuck between a bosom and a hard place.
Yeah.
Going on to the next matchup here on the 0 hour, we have Chris Statlander and Momo Watanabe versus Willow Nightingale and Tam Nakano. Now, I'm going to be honest, like I love Japanese pro wrestling, but I'm not too up to date with the Women of Stardom, and I'm very excited to see the Women of Stardom and learn new wrestlers. But I love the feud right now with Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale. I think, though, Chris Statlander to continue to build on this heel persona for Statlander. I feel like Statlander is going to win this along with Momo Watanabe. But I'm very interested just for the fact that I'm going to see 2 women who I am not familiar with and learn more wrestlers.
I'll tell you this right now. Tam Nakano and Momo Watanabe are fucking awesome.
Yeah, great.
They are fucking awesome. So you are going to absolutely love them right now. I'm going opposite here, to be honest with you. I think Willow and Tam Nakano are going to win this one because of, like, I think in the end of it, Stat's going to beat Willow is going to end up going to beat Willow in the Owen. So I think you don't have her lose. You have her lose here. So that way, when she beats Willow in the Owen, it feels bigger, you know, because it's like the woman who won the Owen last year is going to end up losing to Stat. Like, that situation right there feels bigger than having her just lose, like having her like win some tag match right here. So honestly, I'm going Willow and Tom winning this one.
Phil?
I'm actually really excited about this one just because Watanabe and Tam are is like Justin said, really great. And I think bringing it together, like first of all, this is a very smart match to put together. It's like they said, it's good to have Justin. It's good to have Willow win, because it will lead into because this is obviously a long storyline. Having her lose basically lose the Owen to her rival, which she won last year. would actually definitely be a good little twist of fate. So I'm to pick Willow on this side because I think that's probably going to be the best. That's a good storyline that's being built, and I'm curious to see what will Mr. Hathaway do in that situation. Stokely right now is in a really good place, and he feels like he's stoking the entire fight, and I'm kind of excited to see what they do with it. But yeah, my pick's on Willow on the Willow side more than anything else, and I think that's because it'll be a good way to kind of get Chris Statlander pissed to win the Owen. Indeed.
Mm-hmm. Now we got a matchup that was just announced a couple hours ago, right? We talked about it in the chat. It is insanely stacked. We have a trios matchup. It is Mystico and the Lucha Bros, Penta and Phoenix, versus the team of Yota Tsuji, Titan, and Himaru Takahashi. I am so fucking whack with these names, but Takahashi, LIJ. This matchup is going to be awesome. I love the fact that we're going to see CMLL team up with AAA here, which I don't know how they got this done. CMLL and AAA been, feuding since the dawn of time. To have them finally team up here, this matchup is dream match all over it. To have this on the 0 hour is going to be insane, right? But I am very excited for this matchup. I want to see LIJ take the win here. I am a big fan of LIJ, and especially having Titan in this matchup too, because I know Titan and Mystico have been, back and forth in CMLL. It's going to be fun seeing him mix it up with Penta and Phoenix as well. So yeah, I going LIJ.
I'm going LIJ as well. Like, first off, having AAA and CMLL in the same exact match together, fucking wild. Like, I don't know. I just can't see LIJ losing this. Really, like, I know, it's cool to see Mystico with the Lucha Brothers, fucking awesome. But I can't see LIJ losing this one.
I'm with you. I think LIJ's winning, but honestly, they got Yota Tsuji, so day one I'm picking him. I think honestly, the fact that this is 0 hour, truth be told, this is worthy of being on the main card. But honestly, when this got announced, it felt like it got announced a couple hours ago, literally. So I'm pretty excited for that match. I enjoy how they really they're smartly putting together these matches. It feels like whoever's booking this, or at least the way they're booking this, is actually really smart. So because having a CMLL and AAA feels like a awareness, in my opinion, that WWE is well on this way to being a global powerhouses, and it's literally a the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of situation, where it's I know we beefing, but we gonna have to suck it up for this night, which is honestly, that's typical wrestling moves right there. So that's pretty, and like I said, LIJ always makes me happy because. So.
Go to Tsuji, let's go, baby.
Yeah,
and freaking just nuts.
Ever since he came back, got that new look, and I don't know what happened to him, but he talking about this is he basically said this is my company now.
Yeah,
that's basically what he said. This is my company.
Looks like a fucking star. It's insane.
Yeah.
And before anybody acts I don't know who Hiromu Takahashi is, I've been riding with this man since he was walking around with Daryl. So let's not fuck around here. Right? I messed up.
The time bomb. Let's go.
All right, let's get into the main card. Opening matchup. I'm presuming, right? We have it here as MJF, hometown boy in Long Island, going against CMLL's Hechiseto. We've seen Hechiseto in the past. His matchup with Bryan Danielson was phenomenal. This is a very interesting matchup. I was just saying that. No disrespect to Hechiseto, I do think that this is a little bit of a lackluster matchup for MJF in his hometown on a big pay-per-view like this, but I'm not mad at it. I think that Hechiseto is going to bring out a different side of MJF, and it's going to be a fun matchup, but I don't think there's not a chance in hell that MJF loses in Long Island to Hechiseto. So MJF all the way. What do you think, Justin?
I'm with you. I can't see MJF losing this. I didn't know jack shit about Hechicero before he showed up in AEW and had that match with Bryan, and I was just fucking blown away at how awesome he is. Like, holy shit. It's cool because he's got that very technical style, but MJF's just got this like dirty antics, but he's friggin' like great. He's all around just great. Like, it's gonna be cool to see that style interact like together. So I'm gonna be so interested to see how MJF works a match with him. But yeah, I can't see MJF losing in Long Island. It just can't happen. There's no way.
I'm with you. There's no way MJF loses in Long Island unless they want a full-blown riot right there. Like literally, it's like when Bret Hart goes to Canada. It doesn't matter what is he heel or not. He's the hero no matter what.
Listen, I'll be there. I'll bring the sign that says it's MJF loses, we riot.
That'll be fucking wild. I'll be watching for that sign.
So yeah, I'm picking MJF. Now here's the thing. Hechicero has a hybrid, pretty good style that I think works well with MJF's style. And considering the fact that MJF's a huge like MJF's main thing is storytelling, I think he can still work with him. I don't know Hechicero will be able to pull off all the types of moves he's used to doing, but I do think it'll be a pretty impressive ground game that I want to see. Which is why I'm excited for that particular match.
Twist MJF up like a pretzel, and it's gonna be hysterical.
That's the best part. Like that's the kind of style of MJF. If you go back to when he was back in PWG. And did those are the type of matches he did. Like he did straight up, almost Greco-Roman matches sometimes with folks, with a couple of beat downs here and there. But it was really interesting seeing him work with like actual grapplers because that's always been kind of a style he rolled with. So it should be interesting to see how him and Hechicero work together.
I just want to see how many curses he's gonna have every time he gets locked in a submission, and he's just like getting stretched out, and he goes "fuck" or something.
Keep in mind, like honestly, Roosh had a couple of those grappling moves on him, and that was really fun to see MJF work with that as well. So
yeah, for sure.
I think Hechicero will be a really good. I think it'll be a good test for MJF because I think MJF is old school enough to understand just because he came back doesn't mean he automatically gets a title shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like he feel like he has to build himself up to that. Because I mean, he's smart enough to realize that he needs to build himself up to be the next champ, to take the belt off Swerve or Will, either way, whoever it's going to be.
It's that old school mentality he has.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Nah, I agree. And just because Ivan's calling for it.
Yes.
Yeah, I am very excited for it. But we're going to talk about the next matchup here. It's a matchup that was announced on Dynamite this past week, or this past yesterday. It is the Elite, the Young Bucks, and Kazuchika Okada versus the team of Scissor Ace. It is the Acclaimed and the president of New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi. This is going to be a fun matchup. Tanahashi teaming up with the Acclaimed is not something I had on my bingo card. I'm so glad that we have it here.
God, Tana scissoring, please. Please.
If Tana comes out rapping with Max Caster, I'm going to lose my shit. I'm going to lose my shit if he comes out rapping with Max Caster.
I'm waiting to see if he comes out in some hot pink gear as well.
Oh, no.
You know Tanahashi is a clothes whore. And he be coming up with some outfits, man.
I agree.
Oh my God!
Unfortunately, though, I still think the team that's going to win this is the Young Bucks and Kazuchika Okada.
Yeah, I do. I'm with you.
But like I said in the last segment, talking about Dynamite, I really am excited to see Okada in the ring with Tanahashi. I remember back in 2007, I believe it was Wrestle Kingdom, I think 7, where it was Tanahashi and Okada for the first time in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom, and they've main events of Wrestle Kingdom numerous times after that. They had a long feud. Probably Okada's biggest feud was Tanahashi. Tanahashi was the ace, and he handed over the reins to Okada. And I got to say, in 2024, I'm just as excited to see Tanahashi and Okada mix it up as I was back in the day. So I'm very, very excited. But I'm still going to go with the Young Bucks and Okada.
I think I'm going to go different, honestly. I think the Acclaimed and Tana win this. I think Acclaimed get another win over the Bucks just to kind of make it feel like listen, we're not just gonna have them go in there and face the Bucks and lose. If you have them go in there first and win twice, so that way it kind of comes off as they have a chance. It's not just going to make it super obvious like the Bucks are going to lose or going to freaking win when they eventually have the tag title match. Like, no, you're going in there and saying the Acclaim just beat them twice. Like that, you're right in there, just gets everybody's hopes to like go like, listen, the Acclaim has a chance to win the tag team titles here. So honestly, I'm going Acclaim. I'm going Scissor Ace, and I love that fucking name. My God, it's so funny. When they said that, I died listening to them just go, "It's Scissor Ace," and I'm like, "What? What?"
I will say, oh yeah, exactly. I'm gonna pick the Scissor Ace and the Squad only because, and this is where ego comes into play. There is no way I'm co-hosting an event where I get booked to fucking lose. You can kiss my ass on that one. If it's me, I'm like, fuck no. Against my greatest rival, hell no.
Tana, how do you say that don't work? Tana, how do you say that don't work for me, brother, in Japanese?
Exactly. That's my decision. Like, I'm gonna lose against my rival who left to go to another company on an event that I'm co-hosting. No, I'm not losing that. No.
Yeah. Next up, we got the TNT ladder match. This is going to be a very fun matchup with the names that are already announced for this. We got Dante Martin, the Ring of Honor champion Mark Briscoe, Konosuke Takeshita, Jack Perry, and Lio Rush, with somebody who's still not announced for this. We have one more spot for this. I don't know if there's going to be, was there announced another matchup on Collision or Rampage for the last spot, or will it be a surprise at Forbidden Door?
I didn't see any matches announced for it. So honestly, I think it is going to be a surprise.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. I do think that Jack Perry is walking out with the TNT championship, but just by the names in this matchup alone, you know you're going to see some crazy shit go down in this ladder match.
Only thing I'm doing is I'm hoping that Dante Martin comes out unscathed.
Oh God, please! I'm still getting PTSD from that shit.
Exactly. That's all I need. I just need everybody to be healthy and safe for this one, because this is the type of match where everyone goes 120 miles an hour, and when the injuries happen, like if Ray Phoenix was in it, I'm like, he the one getting hurt.
Yeah.
Can I just say this right now? Mark Briscoe's in this match, right?
Yep.
All right. Can we talk about the fact, quick, that man, I swear, last night called somebody fucking Peppa Pig?
Yeah.
I fucking died. I'm like, Mark, see, man could literally say anything, and I fucking will agree with him. I believe everything he says.
Mark Briscoe on the mic is hilarious.
Exactly. Truth be told, this is the Mark Briscoe we had before his brother died.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he's kind of found a peaceful place to finally come out of his shell.
Yeah.
Because there was some time there. There was time there I was like I wasn't worried about him, but I was like, he needs some time. So, and I actually thought him coming back this soon felt a little bit premature, in my opinion. But obviously, the word of the day is revenge and redemption. You get two of them. And Peppa Pig. So, but overall, that ladder match, and this will sound really strange, I actually believe it's a good thing to have Mark Briscoe in there, because there ain't no one in there they have so far who has seen more ladder matches than that man right there.
Yeah, go back to the ladder wars, the early ladder wars in Ring of Honor.
Exactly. So, if there's anybody who you want to run that entire match, I'm okay with Mark Briscoe going, this is what we're doing, kids. Because if you think about it, he is the oldest person in that match. Everyone else there, even though they're like seasoned veterans, they do not have the experience that he has. That man's got 20 plus years. He has at least 10 years on everybody in that match. So if he says this is how we doing a ladder match, I'm gonna listen to him. Period.
100%.
So, but yeah, though I'm pretty, like I said, and I don't know why, but there's something about him and Dante Martin that makes me happy.
God, I love it.
Or as he calls him, reach for the sky, Dante Martin, which I thought was a really nice thing to say about the kid. So
that's awesome.
So I actually say, yeah, so I'm pretty excited about the ladder match, just because I know exactly how over the top Mark can be when he's doing that kind of level of match play. So, because
I think it's still obvious though who wins though.
It is. I mean, oh yeah, easy. But I think the thing I love most about it is that this I think this is leading to a point where Mark Briscoe might start to do work in the back, and like working with not just being a talent, but being like a guy who actually starts teaching the younger guys about the business, at least from his side of it. So I think
that man just has to go out there and start calling everybody fucking Nick Jr. characters, and I'm just gonna start dying.
I think our boy said it best. I will follow that man anywhere.
Absolutely.
So, but but overall, this is the match. Granted, the other matches are great, but this is the one I'm kind of genuinely, secretly hoping is the match of the night.
Yeah, and I believe it's a good chance it could be. But you know what match is going to give it a run for its money? The next matchup, and that's going to be Zack Sabre Jr. and Orange Cassidy. That is going to be a very fun matchup. I gotta go Zack Sabre Jr. I really want to see Zack Sabre Jr. win this. I feel, if I'm not mistaken, the last two Forbidden Doors he did lose. He lost to Cesaro. To Claudio, and then he lost to last year. No, he lost that Wrestle Dream to Danielson.
Yeah.
Did Zack Sabre Jr. have a match last year at Forbidden Door? I'm trying to remember. I don't remember his match.
I don't think so, but I think you're right.
Yeah, no.
Wrestle Dream he did lose, but I think it was I think he was supposed to, but I think it ended up getting preempted. Remember?
True. So Zack Sabre Jr. is due a big win here in Ring of Honor. Well, AEW. I'm gone tonight. My gosh, it's been a long day. I'm tired. But in AEW, right? So I think him and Orange Cassidy's going to put on a really good matchup. But in the end, Orange Cassidy, I think, could take a loss. Zack Sabre Jr. gets the victory here in this matchup.
Mm-hmm. I've been saying it the whole time. I think Orange has to lose here. Like every time we've seen Zack, he's lost. Like we need to start seeing, like, I want to see AEW start being like giving Zack wins, so that way when New Japan sees him winning, we could start getting him, in contention for the fucking world title. Like, why is Zack Sabre Jr. not won that world title yet? Come on.
Yeah, that's my agreement as well. Zack Sabre Jr. in Japan has been on a fire ass fucking run.
Yes.
It does not make any sense for him to lose at Forbidden Door. And Orange Cassidy loses nothing.
Wait, what?
Temple, is this confirmed?
Is that fucking confirmed?
Really?
Because, gosh, that made this even better.
Bro, I think I just fucking died. Like, the fucking headbanger is in the fucking ladder match? Please tell me that's confirmed.
I gotta hit this again.
Yeah, that's absolutely necessary right now. Holy shit, please be fucking confirmed.
Yeah, I'm looking this up right now, because if that is confirmed, then holy shit, man. Like, they
I'm
just
gonna
made
say
that
right now, I'm gonna say if Jack Perry wins, he gonna fucking earn it. Damn.
100%.
Can I just say right now, fuck Jack Perry, and can we just give the fucking TNT title to ELP? Like,
I mean,
it's not on the line, but
it's not a bad idea.
It's definitely not.
Bitch.
Hey.
Oh my fucking god.
Okay.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
Okay.
Oh man.
It is what it is.
I'm so happy.
Hitting it one more time.
I'm so fucking happy right now seeing that right now.
That matchup is going to be insane. It just got
nuts.
so much better. So much better.
Bro, Mark and ELP interactions are going to be fucking priceless.
You know what the sad part is about this? I wish they'd announced it like last week so we can get some pre-promos from the both of them before Forbidden. Forbidden Door.
Missed opportunity.
So, but yeah, whatever. But yeah, so we'll but where were we? I'm sorry.
Orange Zack and Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, I think Zack Snyder, Jesus. I'm sorry. Zack Sabre Jr. Honestly, he's been too much on the run, and like you said, he wants his championship run.
Yeah.
And this, like, he can't afford to have it derailed like this. So, and truth be told, with odds are AEW is going to win a lot of the matches there. They can give this one up easy.
No, I definitely.
It's not going to kill him to have Orange lose. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's already well established from the AEW crowd. Next matchup for the AEW Women's Champion, the matchup I'm very looking forward to, and that is Mina Shirakawa versus Timeless Toni Storm. Of course, Toni Storm is going to win this without a doubt. But I'm loving Mina in AEW. I think that Mina needs to stick around in AEW because she has been a welcomed addition to that roster. She has been awesome at what she does. And this whole storyline, at first, when I started to see the interactions, I thought, all right, this is a little hokey. But week by week, they have definitely sold me on this whole storyline. I'm loving all three. This love triangle between Mina, Mariah, and Toni has been amazing. This is going to be
respectfully through this whole thing.
Right. It's going to be awesome, but I'm definitely thinking that Toni Storm is walking out as your champion still. And I'm also looking forward to Toni Storm at the scrum because Toni Storm is killing at the scrum. She's the all-star of every scrum, but definitely Toni Storm walks out still not only a champion, but she walks out with Mariah.
Agreed. Like I still think there's only one person who's taken that title off of Toni, and that is Mariah. So I can't see this going any other way but Toni wins. But I can tell you right now, I've loved this story. It has been so enjoyable just having Mina come back and be like, she's my old stablemate. And Toni's just like, but she's mine. Like, it's the way they handle that whole thing of having her break the bottle over Mariah's head and the both of them just checking on her like, oh my God. But they're just still like eyeing each other down like, I hate you. I hate you too. Like, so fucking good.
Word.
So yeah, I'm pretty much Toni's winning this one. I think this is where the schisms get started with the both of them. I'm not sure how. I think it might be a Mariah doesn't actually help Toni to win, or there is a little bit of a miscommunication and Toni still wins kind of situation. As much as I would like Mina to stay, unfortunately, yes, she does have to lose and she does have to go back home, unfortunately. But I would like her to be in AEW full time if we could get her. But she was great. This whole thing is great. But I still have Toni Storm winning. Although I don't think it's going to be Mariah May takes it off of her. I think it's going to have to be the champion who had to give up the belt that comes back for it in Wembley. So that's who I'm guessing.
I like that.
But we'll see. I mean, honestly, it's up in the air. It's still way too soon for it right now to pretty much start predicting who Toni Storm's going to lose the belt to. Because truth be told, I actually didn't think that when she won the belt, I didn't think she needed to win it. She had been so over. I didn't think the belt would have done anything else for her. And I will say I was wrong about that because it actually has been a really good boost for her character. So yeah, I think
character is the greatest thing right now. Like, holy shit.
Oh yeah. The amount of dedication to the character is insane.
Yeah. And honestly,
tits out and watch for the shoe.
Yeah. And I honestly thought the belt would be a distraction from her gimmick, but I guess that she made it work. So shout out to Luther, unsung hero.
Hey, who knew that was gonna work? Also, like the fact that he just kind of showed up and everyone's like, what the fuck is this guy doing here?
Hasn't said a damn thing the entire time.
Fuck it, make him a butler for Toni Storm and it fucking works. Like, my God.
Lightning in the bottle, right?
Yeah. But other than that, the weird thing to keep in mind is these two stardom wrestlers right here.
Mm-hmm.
This could very well be the match of the night. This could be the match of the night because I mean, again, two stardom crew, well, technically three if you count Mariah May. We have, and honestly, people. I don't think people actually seen what Mina Shirakawa could do against like a top contender. No offense to everyone else. So I'm pretty excited about this one. I mean, no, that's not true. She had a pretty good match against, I think it was Anna Jay, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it was Anna Jay. So, I mean, it's like I said, this will probably be like it's pay-per-view, and since this is her swan song, I'm pretty sure they're gonna turn it all out for this match.
Yeah, I agree for sure. I definitely agree. We have next a title for title matchup, another matchup I'm really looking forward to. It is not only for the AEW TBS Championship, but it's also for the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. It is Stephanie Valkyrie versus Mercedes Moné. And this is going to be awesome. I think Mercedes Moné is definitely doing well. I think that in ring she's been killing it. I like the character. I don't know if this is just because like I'm a little biased. I've been a fan of Mercedes for a long, long time, ever since her run in NXT. But I think that she's been killing it. I know there's been some criticism of her, but her matchup with Willow was great. Her matches on TV have been great. I like the character. It's playing off of the boss character that she had in WWE, so it makes sense for her to continue that role. And also, I love the matches that she was having in New Japan and in Stardom. So this should be a really good matchup. And the story is there because this is the title that she was going for and couldn't get because of the injury. So, like she said, this is her last little stop on her redemption. I wouldn't be surprised if Mercedes walks out a double champion here on the show.
I guess I'll get mine out of the way first. I'll say this. I have not been the biggest fan of this Mercedes. Like, I don't know what it is. I'm just not feeling it. Like, I enjoyed when she first went to Japan, and I was starting to enjoy that. And again, I've always been like a big Sasha Banks like fan and everything like that. But it's like here right now, I don't know what it is. It's just like the character is so iffy to me. And truth be told, I'm not a big fan of this whole like she's here and like her title matches, she's got to be the one to win the title thing. I don't like that. Like, I didn't like how they were doing that with the strong title. Like, that was we made this title for her. Like, why? It was fucking cool that you had made the title in the first place. It didn't have to just be like, well, because we have Mercedes here, we got to give her the title first. Like, I don't like that freaking look at it at all. Like, I didn't like when she won the IWGP women's title in her first freaking match. Like, that to me just goes, okay, so the only reason why you gave her the title was because you have her. And that's it. Like, that to me is just kind of stupid. Like, so honestly, like, I'm not changing my opinion, like how I feel about that like whole thing. Like, it's obvious here she's gonna end up winning the title that she was basically gonna win. And the only thing at the end of this is I'm just gonna be glad that I got to witness Stephanie Vaquer before I don't get to see her again, because I'm anticipating seeing her because I've never seen her before. She really intrigues me, and I can't wait to see what she's gonna do. It's just I don't like the fact that they're just giving her the title because they're going to give her the title because she's here, and that's it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Phil?
So I'm picking Mercedes to win because I will be honest with you. She's still great in the ring. She's still a little bit rusty, but she's getting better every single time I see her. Justin is absolutely correct. I'm pretty much the belt itself, but I got to tell you right now, wrestling's about entertainment and money and booking. I love Stephanie Vaquer. She's a brilliant, talented wrestler. We saw her already. However, remember, the name of the game is who puts asses in seats, who makes your buys. And Mercedes Moné makes people sit down and watch. Giving her the New Japan Strong belt, giving her the IWGP belt and Stardom Championship made sense at the time. She was a top-selling star back then. She still is for AEW. For New Japan Strong, not going to lie to you, they get more mileage with Mercedes than they do Stephanie.
Yeah.
Stephanie's been a solid champion with some great work. But honestly, Mercedes Moné has a face and a name going back to, like you said, NXT, across multiple continents, multiple promotions. So it makes sense to give her the belt. I mean, I understand. Yeah, Dom saying the golden shovel is fair, but honestly, that's how wrestling always is. It's not about who deserves it, but it's about at right time. It's all about timing. And right now, it is good to give Mercedes that belt. She can put some shine on it, and whoever she loses it to, they get that shine as well. I mean, because honestly, like the TBS, whoever gets the TBS championship off her is going to be huge. So, like, if nothing else, I think, like I said, there's some still criticisms on her stuff, but for the most part, honestly, she's solid. And like I said, she's a money, like her name said, she is Monet. 100%. And so, as much as I don't like Stephanie losing, because honestly, she has been a great champion for it, And honestly, we could be wrong. Like Tony could just lose his mind and go, you know what, Stephanie had the belts. I mean, no one in their right mind would book it that way, but there it is. But yeah. Yes, I do know, like I said, she is, I will say I agree with Justin. She's not connected with the crowd like she did when she was at NXT and WWE or when she was in New Japan. So it is taking her a while to connect with this crowd.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just resentment from where she came from or it's just taking her a while to get used to the energy of the room. But for the most part, she's been doing a good job. The way she carried herself, the way she works in her back, works in the back, works with other wrestlers. And like you said, her match against Willow was really good. And her matches following that have been good as well. So I'm okay. Like I said, for me, I will pick Mercedes Moné and freely without any kind of real criticism beyond that.
I'm right there with you. Next matchup. Before I go into the matchup, I gotta take you guys back. 2009, right? I went to a little show called Dragon Gate USA.
Jesus.
And on this show, we seen Bryan Danielson right before he goes to the WWE. Bryan Danielson going against a young Shingo. And that was one of the best matches I ever seen live. And I'm excited I'm going to see this match live as well because we're going to be running it back in 2024. We have Shingo Takagi versus Bryan Danielson in the Owen Hart. This is a fucking dream match, man. Even though, like I said, I've seen this matchup before, Shingo has grown leaps and bounds since those days. Since his Dragon Gate days, he's grown leaps and bounds. Former IWGP champion. This is going to be a hell of a matchup. There's no doubt in my mind that Bryan Danielson goes on and wins this matchup and he continues on in the Owen Hart. But damn, I'm expecting the freaking, the battle, the war that Bryan Danielson and Shingo could put on. This is going to be, in my opinion, my match of the night. This is going to be really good. Bryan Danielson gets the victory.
I agree with you. Honestly, when I heard this was announced, I hurt myself.
Wait, what?
I literally I fell out of my chair and went, the fuck? So I was really excited for this one. Daniel, first of all, I'm happy for Daniel Bryan because this is what he wanted. The moment he came back and left WWE, he said this is what he wanted. He wanted all the matches he couldn't have. So, and he said, if I'm going out the way I want to with all the best matches I've ever won in my life. So I'm really excited for this one. I mean, as much as I was hoping for it'd be Wena and Tony, this probably will be match of the night. There is already so much hype for it. It's not even what it was basically. I mean, it's already being called Battle of the Dragons. They're already calling it that right now. I mean, it's made to be a match of the night. So I just hope this is not before the champ. Oh, it's far enough away from the main event.
Yeah, this is going to take the crowd. So cannot put this where it's listed on this card here. You can't put it third to last because those two title matches are going to have a dead crowd if this is the Justin?
Yeah, I'm super excited for this. When Shingo announced that he was going to be in the Owen, I went, oh my fucking God. Shingo Takagi is legit probably my favorite guy in New Japan. When he debuted and joined LIJ, I go, okay, I don't know shit about Shingo Takagi, but when he joined LIJ and I just kept following along with it, and I was like, damn, he is fucking awesome. And when he won the world title, I was like, see this when they had him versus Okada, I go, you got to give Shingo the title. You don't have to keep going down the same trend of being we got to just give Okada the title. Every time there's a world title match, it's got to involve Okada and Okada wins. No, go with the opposite and give it to fucking Shingo. And that's what they ended up doing, which was the smartest move I think they did right there. This matchup right here has me so fucking pumped. This is the one match on the entire card that I'm just anticipating right now. I honestly thought they weren't going to do this as a first time, right off the bat. I thought they were going to have them on the opposite side of the card and then have them work their way to it. and not just blow it off immediately. Like, I want to say, don't just throw Shingo's appearance in like right away and then just get rid of him right off the bat. And I want to say Shingo wins, but I have a feeling it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, it would be like, I think the best bet to see it would be Shingo winning instead of just wasting him to just be like, we're going to have him go in there, have the big dream match and just be over with it. And then he's out. Like, that's disappointing. But really, like the one thing I would prefer to see is Shingo wins via help of Nigel McGuinness, so that way you can build up Nigel versus Bryan at Wembley, which would be fucking epic.
Hell yeah.
But it's like I think you could still build that up with Bryan going further in the tournament somehow. So I am going Bryan winning this.
No, most definitely. And I would love if Bryan versus Nigel happens. You know, I not to derail, but like I said this story many times back in the day, around like the 2006, 2007 time period. That's when I started to fall out a little bit with wrestling. And I watched Ring of Honor one day and saw Bryan Danielson and Nigel McGuinness and fall right back in love with it. So that's the match that saved me. So I would love to see that be run back.
I said all the trash talking he does on commentary cannot just be for nothing.
Yeah, there's got to be a reason, right? We have to have that matchup.
This man sits there in commentary and calls him a clam digger every freaking week. Like, if that isn't going to be like the reason that Bryan's just going to like walk over there, slap the shit out of him, and then they're going to have a friggin' match at Wembley for that, like, I'm fucking all in for it. I want to see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So unfortunately, I'm picking Bryan because Shingo right now, he's in the middle of a run in Japan. And he can't really be drawn into it. He can't be drawn in the AEW's baggage, no pun intended. So that's the only reason I think Shingo leaves. I think right now he's being booked. He's not being booked for a championship, but I think he's booked for a global run coming up soon. I'm trying to picture. I can't picture it in my head right now. So yeah, he's definitely losing to Bryan. I think the more important factor is that there's enough of a story with the Owen Cup and Daniel Bryan in general that we will get a banger of a match, a banger of a story. So yes. I'm pretty excited about that. For sure.
So next up, we have co-main event for the IWGP champion. This is going to be a great matchup. Tetsuya Naito versus Jon Moxley. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be awesome. I think Naito takes it. I think the whole build for this matchup is Naito coming back and taking that title from Moxley on his home turf in AEW, just like Moxley took it from Naito on his home turf of New Japan. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a nice little run for Moxley, but I think Naito becomes your new IWGP champion here at Forbidden Door. So I'm going with Naito.
Go ahead, Phil.
I agree. I actually think it is Naito. Honestly, right now, if the plan is for Yota Tsuji to get the belt, the Wrestle Kingdom is way too far away to have Moxley keep that belt for damn near 9 months. However, having Naito take it makes Naito a stronger champion to beat for whoever is in Japan to take that belt. And honestly, Naito having the belt from July till Wrestle Kingdom. I mean, he's held the belt longer than that easy. Like that's a walk in the park for that man. So, and then having him drop of the belt at Wrestle Kingdom against Tsuji, yeah.
It's coming.
Tranquilo.
So I think giving it to Naito will be a really good call. But again, I don't know how they're booking this one because it's still, like I said, it makes sense to give it to Moxley. However, having him keep the belt for that long and then losing it at Wrestle Kingdom would be great for whoever they give it to. But having Naito take it, like you said, on Moxley's home turf would be poetic justice.
Yeah.
So,
Justin?
This has been a tough one for me. Like, I've been like listening to a lot of people's like takes and saying Naito should win it. Naito's going to win it. And I'm like, okay, it makes sense. But it's like this one's hard for me to like decide because like I could see Mox retaining, like because we've always on here talked about Yoda Tsuji going on to win the title, and honestly, if he was the one to beat Mox, I see that being huge for him. Like even if he beats Naito, that's something big. But like I think the intriguing story of having him beat Mox and bring it back to Japan is just something so much bigger. Like I feel like for him. So honestly, like again, like I get like everyone's like whole thing of like that's a really long reign for Moxley if he beats Naito. I can just see it happening. So honestly, I'm going Moxley retaining here.
Wow. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it. I definitely wouldn't be mad at it if Moxley does retain, and you know that would be awesome.
This one's probably the hardest one to like try to predict because you could go either way really with it.
I mean, he had a hell of a defense at Bloodsport.
Oh yeah, that matchup was brutal with Josh Barnett.
Yeah. With Josh Barnett freaking bleeding buckets. Good God.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the main event. This matchup is going to be very fun. Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland, AEW World Championship. Man, I am loving both these guys right now. I am a big fan of both these guys, and I don't want Swerve to be looked at as just a transitional champion. But I feel like you got to strike while the iron is hot, and the iron was hot with Swerve when they struck when the iron was hot. But right now, the hot hand is Will Ospreay. I see Will Ospreay taking the title here, becoming a double champion. And like I said, that's no disrespect to Swerve. I love Swerve. I don't want to see his title reign end, but if it's going to end to anybody, I feel like right now the most intriguing wrestler on Dynamite is Will Ospreay. You got to go with Will.
So I think Swerve retains here. I do. I think right now Ospreay's pushed him to the brink that he's going to do whatever to beat him. Like we've seen, like after what we saw last night, where he yanked the title out of his hand to the point where he kicked him in the leg and hit him with the freaking house call, like, and just dropped him like a sack of shit. Like Swerve's at that stage where Ospreay can do whatever, and he's going to make sure that he does twice as much to basically beat him at this point. And I think you don't need to have Ospreay win both titles. Like honestly, like I said, I think Ospreay's losing that title to Daniel Garcia next week. So that way him and MJF is just one-on-one. That's it. Like I can just see this being the start where Ospreay loses to Swerve. Ospreay loses to Daniel Garcia. Now he's going to have to go in there and face MJF, who's at the top of his game right now. Going in there, you know, not only still doing the whole like, I can't hit the Tiger Driver. I don't want to do it. But he's also going to be going in there going like, I just lost twice. Like, I got to get my mind straight here. And I got to go in there and try to beat MJF. And like, that's going to lead to that could lead to MJF beating him, being like, his mind's not in the right state. He just lost twice. Big time. Like I think you get like some intriguing stuff with Ospreay. Like even with Ospreay right now with the whole Don Callis thing. We don't even know what the hell that's going to lead to. Like, eventually, like, will he be kicked out of the family? Like, has he been doing stuff that Don Callis doesn't approve of? Like, it could be anything at this point. But honestly, I don't want to see Swerve's title run end this early either. Like, and I don't think it does. I think Swerve is going to use some underhanded tactics to beat Ospreay. And I think it's kind of called for that situation where he has to use those kind of things right now to beat Ospreay. So I'm going Swerve retaining here.
Not mad at it.
I'm going Swerve winning, but I think this is where Swerve becomes heel Swerve. Because I think they want MJF to win the championship as a face. And having Swerve be the ultimate heel to take out your golden boy.
Yes.
Is probably the way to go for me.
Yeah, I mean that's also a very intriguing situation there too. But
like you said,
go ahead.
the main thing is it's going to be a bang of a match. That's going to be because I think because right now he's already starting to sound like Killshot in Lucha Underground.
Oh, love it.
So
yeah, this pay-per-view altogether, this is such a stacked show. Like there's no way that the show goes under 4.5 hours. It's going to be a really awesome show, and I'm really excited for it. I'm going to be seeing the show live, so I'm excited. It's going to be an awesome show. Can't wait to talk about it when we come back next week here on the Circle Debate. But before we close out here, we got to talk about my man's right here. We got to talk about the birthday boy.
Yo, Ivan.
Happy birthday, Ivan. We're going to end the show with a 42-minute clip of the best Ivan moments on Circle. Nah, definitely. Happy birthday, man. The godfather of the channel. I appreciate everything he's done for me, everything that he's done for the channel, everything he's done for the Wrestling Delorean. Shout out to Ivan, man. I hope you're having a great birthday. You deserve it. Definitely. You missed on the show, but you are definitely, well, you're living a very well-deserved vacation right now.
Exactly.
So, yes.
But most definitely want to give Ivan some love.
Yep, man. Thank you for everything you do. Definitely, man.
Yes.
Yep, and that is it. That was a lot to talk about. There was a lot on this show. But definitely, I'm so excited for what's going to happen this weekend. It's going to be a great show. But yeah, thank you to all the subscribers. Thank you to all the viewers. We got 50 people watching right now. The chat was blowing up.
Yep.
Shout out to everybody. This was awesome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now on the Circle Debate channel. Follow all of us. Follow Circle Debate, all the social medias. It is time to roll out. Let me find this clip though. Gosh, I should have put all these in the beginning. But here we go. It is that time.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
And in words of the birthday boy, who, by the way, we appreciate you too. We appreciate everything you do. And yes, he will be back in 2 weeks. I'll be back here next week.
Yes.
But he'll be back in 2 weeks, and we can't wait for him to return. But in the words of Ivan, here on the Circle Debate, Pepsi Phil, Wrestling Delorean, the In Time Podcast, we don't just make podcasts. Tell them what we make.
We make fucking history.
Must bid you adieu, a goodbye, mwah, and good night.